Hello and welcome to the Runna Podcast. Today we chatted to the incredible Max Whitlock, who is a 3-time Olympic gold medalist in gymnastics.
He medalled at 3 Olympic Games in a row before missing out in Paris and going on to retire. But he decided he wasn't done yet, and that's not how he wanted to end his story, so is now gearing up for hopefully his best one yet in the upcoming LA Olympics.
He's also started to take up running, which we chatted about, and he has this incredible formula for success, which I think he's applying to all aspects of his life. And it was so valuable hearing because it would work for any of us with big goals.
We had an amazing conversation. Enjoy the episode.
Hey Max, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the podcast and for running with me this morning.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun. It was hard. It was really, really hard, but we had fun. We done well.
Yeah, it was a really fun morning trying to get you your 5K PB, and we'll get on to that.
Yeah.
But we want to start right at the beginning. What got you into moving your body on day one?
So I started gymnastics when I was 7 years old. So just a youngster. I originally done swimming as well before that, and a friend introduced me into the sport of gymnastics. It was in the same sports centre, so it was a bit of luck. He was like, you should come along and try it. He got me to do a few things on the floor there, like literally where I was, and I could pick up a few skills like quite quickly. So it was like, you got to get in the gym. I stepped foot in the gym and I absolutely loved it. So there was so many things to love about the sport that I almost got hooked and got obsessed. And I think that's what I see every day now, because I train in the gym now with 2 or 3 year olds walking into the gym for their parent and toddler classes and everything like that, all the way up to me, the oldest guy in the gym at 32. And I see it all the time. Gymnasts and young kind of children get hooked on the sport because there's thousands and thousands of skills to learn and it's endless. So that's all I done. I thrived off of just new stuff to do all the time, constantly improving and getting that sense of improvement every time I stepped in the gym. So yeah, loved it from day one at 7 years old, and 24 years later I'm still going.
I guess thinking about the movements within gymnastics, it's the closest thing to playing, as in like so many kids will go and do cartwheels in the garden and basically do very amateur gymnastics, and it's a sport where you could just play all the way to the top to some extent.
Completely, and I think that's partly, I'd say, one of the reasons why what's helped me go on for so long, because I was just mucking about. Like, I went in the gym, I had fun, tried my best to do some stuff, and like you say, it is playing. It's the best form of playing as well. It moves your body so much from a young age, builds so much like spatial awareness, teaches you how to fall, teaches you so many skills which are so valuable. But at that time you don't think about that, you're just having fun. And I think I've kind of kept that all the way till now in my career. I think a lot of people ask me like, when did it start to get serious and that thing, but for me, even building towards Olympic Games, building toward these World Championships and stuff, it's never been so serious that it's like far too intense or anything like that. Obviously, I take it seriously in that sense, but I've never let training get mega serious and for it to become so intense that it takes over everything. I think that is where I've seen some people kind of be a bit of a hindrance in their career, but also then if you flip the other side and you're too relaxed, that's also not good. So I kind of sit in the middle, do my own thing, improving my kind of own pace and stay in my lane and just keep pushing on, but keep loving every second of it.
In my school, or like the British school system, I feel like gymnastics isn't the biggest sport. It's always like football, rugby, cricket. Was there ever a point during school when you were like, this isn't really what my friends are doing? Like, it's not fun or cool or anymore?
To be honest, I was one of the lucky ones, and I know a lot of people struggle in school. And I think there's hopefully going away from that bit of stigma about it being a kind of girls' sport as well. It was pretty cool for me to be able to do gymnastics in my school, because I could do stuff that not many kids could do. So yeah, every time, like a lot of times, people wanted to see what I could do, show tricks and stuff like that, which was cool. So for me, it wasn't like that too much. I had a really good experience throughout my school years. My friends massively respected it. I got to secondary school and I started coming out of school 3 days a week. I'd leave at 12 o'clock, get to gym for 1, train till 8, get home at 9. And it would be like that kind of thing. And it was just what I'd done. And it's not until you get older and you kind of look back and think, God, that time was actually crazy. Like 35 hours a week I was training, 6 days a week. And it was a lot, but I loved it. I had this group of friends at school. which respected what I could do massively. And then I could go to training and I had this other circle of friends that I love being around as well. So nothing really felt like a sacrifice or anything like that, because I'd miss out on things, but I'd be going to do something else I enjoyed. And I think that was what was, really, really kind of valuable for me at a young age, that taught that kind of discipline, that commitment. And it definitely paid off.
I think like finding the balance where you're not putting so much pressure, you're keeping it enjoyable, you're kind of playing your way all the way to the top is clearly such a strong piece of why it's worked so well. Did you, or did your parents send you to that first kind of session at 7 and have that dream for you, or was there no imagination that could happen and it really just happened organically because you found that passion?
Completely organically. Like my parents have been unbelievable through the whole journey in terms of just, okay, we'll try it. And I think it's been that mindset. And then every time as they're kind of getting through the stepping stones of almost going up the ranks, which took a while. Like the first bit, I started in a recreational class, which is obviously the low-level gymnastics. I was in there for 3 months, then moved into a group, and then I was on the GB squad at 9 years old, and then worked through fairly quickly from there. But I think the mindset has always been from my parents that there's no pressure, it's just encouragement, and see what you can do. And I think I was lucky in the sense that they always said that, they would support me if gymnastics is what I wanted to keep doing, which was, I was almost look back and think I was in a fortunate position to do that. But even, like I say, as you kind of get to the more bigger, more serious competitions, it still was never serious. It was almost like my mum and dad just say, try your best. Whether it's a local competition or whether it's Olympic Games, enjoy it, try your best. And it's never changed. And I think that's what's really important. So there's never ever been too much pressure from the people around me, people close to me. I think that's what's helped me take on the mentality of go with the flow. And
you say that it's never changed in your kind of feeling, and kind of going back to this play point, like you leave school and, assume gymnastics is now your full-time profession.
Mm-hmm.
Did that change the pressure that you found in your practice every day, that the success of the practice is going to lead to your success in a career, or did it not change that?
No, there was only kind of a turning point that changed the feeling of pressure. So pressure's normal, and pressure is normal in everything, especially when we kind of talk about sport. But I think the only time where that kind of I felt a big shift was when I got the first big result. So that was, London 2012, we started to kind of tip into that. That was my first Olympic Games at 19 years old. And from then, it wasn't a big shift. The big shift was 4 years later, when actually I achieved my first Olympic gold medal, and then it changed.
Because the expectation is you get another.
Yeah. So pressure was always there. Pressure was always going to be there, but plonked on top was the expectation. Exactly that. And you go to competitions, and if you didn't achieve a gold medal because you've done it before, you're seen as a failure. And that was when it was almost, I felt that shift slightly there of, okay, this is a bit of a different game that we're playing now. And it was kind of tough. Like mentally, that side of it was tough. And I think you experience a lot, and then you go through, and then hopefully now I'm in a position where I'm out the other side of a push through that hard phase of that expectancy was I really felt that on my shoulders at points in my career. But now I'm in a phase where I'm going back with the flow. I'm 10 years over peak. I'm still going. I'm still pushing it. And I want to see what I can do.
And what does it look like in practice at that point, 4 years after your first gold? Like, what does that, like, can you take us back there? And what does that mean in terms of, are you enjoying getting out the door and going to training? Or like, are you dreading a competition because if you come second, you feel like you've let people down? Like, what does it mean?
Yeah. So yeah, we had 2012. I got 2 bronze medals. It was a home games. I was completely inexperienced in the grand scheme of things. I was going there, giving it best shot, loving every minute.
You were 19.
19, yeah, still pretty young. So I was like, I hadn't even done a World Championships before, so it was like proper thrown in the deep end, nothing to lose mindset, which was really powerful. I then really kind of, on that 4-year journey, me and my coach, we set missions, we set targets. They were kind of laughed at because we was mega ambitious for 4 years later. And that was when it happened. So one of our targets was to be in a position to get a title. It'd never been done before in our sport, in our country. And I think that's why it was seen as, okay, it's maybe a bit too ambitious, a bit too out there. But that was our target. We wanted to go for it. When it actually got to the Olympic Games in Rio, I made 2 finals. So I actually had 2 opportunities to kind of medal. And my first final was in floor. My second final was in the pommel horse. And pommel horse is the one that I'm known for. That's my specialist piece. And that was the piece that we set our target on. Floor was up first. And in my head, I was like, okay, we'll use this as a bit of a warm-up, which is nuts. Yeah, we'll go. And I didn't watch any other competitor because I just stay on my own zone, head down. And I'd done my routine. I was really pleased. And my coach and my teammates and everyone around me was like saying, like, Max, do you not want to know where you're placing? And I was like, no, please don't tell me. Because I didn't want to know because I had my job of pommel horse to do. And it got to the end of that floor final and my coach just whacked me in the leg and was like, Max, you're Olympic champion. So it happened before I'd even expected it.
Even after you did your performance, you then didn't watch the others?
I didn't watch anybody.
That's mad.
I didn't want to. And purely because I had another job.
I can understand that beforehand, like, so that you don't get nervous for the performance. But then, yeah, it makes sense so you don't get nervous for the next one.
My priority wasn't this first final, wasn't floor at all. It wasn't that. So I was literally thinking, this is really good because I'm in here. It's going to set on my nerves before my pommel horse routine. That's what I want to do. And then it was like Olympic champion, gold medal. So like emotions just hit me like a ton of bricks. I then had to go back. I wrapped my medal up. I put it in my bag and I was like, bang, refocus, follow the process, follow the warm-up process on getting ready for pommel, go that. And obviously becoming Olympic champion then again on the pommel horse. It was a whirlwind. Like 2 gold medals in an hour and a half was nuts. But then it did change. Like we said, sorry, back to your question. I've literally gone on a bit of a rant there, but back to your question, it changed from that moment because, yeah, that was 2016. 2018 was a memory that stands out. I went to a competition, World Championships and European Championships that year. I got silvers in both. And this before the Olympic Games, I would have grabbed it. I'd have been like, that's brilliant. But after the gold medals, I was seen as a complete failure. And that was like really hard because it's the smallest margins in sport that can take you from first to second or first to out of podium places completely. So I almost kind of then realised, okay, this is a little bit different now. When I'm working towards comp, anything less than gold is not seen as good enough. And that was quite tough. So that piled pressure on a bit on training, on build-ups, and I get stressful times within those build-up phases that were hard to kind of work through, thinking I'm not going to be ready on time. And I'd do it at every single competition. I'd go round and there was always a similar period where you're kind of getting close and it's almost a bit too close. You could almost do it for a couple more weeks before the actual event and you feel like, okay, pressure's piling a bit. So, but I think that's something that I've just had to learn and manage and deal with. And I'm fortunate I'm proud to still produce results under that kind of pressure. And now I'm kind of hopefully out the other side of that and enjoying every moment again.
It sounded like those first 2 golds when you didn't really care about, well, obviously you cared, but you weren't worried about what the other competitors were doing because you were literally just focused on your performance. You weren't sizing yourself up against them. That kind of sounds like the secret sauce there. Was it the next few competitions where you were a bit more worried about what they're doing?
I suppose it wasn't even competitors. It wasn't worrying too much about what competitors are doing. It's still almost just, I suppose, perception.
Okay.
I think we used to fly under the radar a bit with our sport. So I used to go into competitions where I'd done good or I didn't. Actually, it wouldn't be out there too much. But then since that time, whether we do good or bad, people know about it. And I think that was almost a different shift within our sport that we've experienced from growing up. And, our first Olympic Games shot our sport into the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah.
Before that, it wasn't there too much. We could almost just work in silence and compete in silence a little bit. But it's just a bit of a different world for us now. So it's seen, which is only a massive positive because support has rocketed with that. But you kind of just know the perception's there and expectancy's there every single time. But yeah, I think you've got to be someone that thrives under pressure and that's the main part of competition.
And you speak of coming out the other side and now you're back to loving it again.
Mm-hmm.
How did you do that? what does that entail? Because I think there'll be a lot of, and I know there's a long piece in the journey to kind of cover there, but I think it'll be very helpful because whether it's an Olympic gold medal or whether someone finishes their marathon and then stops running for a while and is scared to get back out the door 2 months later, like the lessons could be quite relatable.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's actually exactly what you said. I think that I've been through some kind of real learning periods where I've said I was done and then I've come back and I've said I was done and now I'm back again. So for context, I retired after Paris Olympics last year, a year out of sport completely. And I think I've learned a lot. So
why did you choose to retire?
So I chose to retire because I genuinely felt like it was the right time. But I came fourth in Paris and it still kind of eats me up a little bit. So it was the right time to retire. I truly believe that, but it's just not the right way. I think there's something that I still feel like I've got more to give and more to prove. And I just want to kind of write what that ending of my career looks like. I can't finish it the way it did. And I know a lot of people will think that's a bit of a dangerous game to play, to try and chase that finishing on a high. But I think it's an opportunity that I've got that I'll never get again. So that's the reason why I retired, because it was actually the right time. But the reason why I come back is even stronger than that. And I think it's worth the risk of trying and kind of grabbing that opportunity. It's always better to try than not. And I think I'd look back and regret not trying if I didn't. But I think the learning curves that I've had along my way, I've had experiences where I've felt kind of the fear of failure and not wanting to come back into the sport because of that. I think that's a big one. And I think that goes back to kind of expectancy and what people perceive as a success and what people perceive as, okay, well, that's not good enough. He's not going to be happy with that and things like that. So the fear of failure kind of set in actually when I retained my Olympic title in my third Olympic Games in Tokyo. So it was a huge moment, and then it literally came crashing down when I just felt like, what do I do? I felt completely lost. And I almost struggled. I've worked with targets, I've worked with goal setting for as long as I can remember, since I was 7 years old, and all of a sudden I flicked and I stopped because of the fear of failure, and that's just it's not me. So, I needed those goals. I needed something to work towards back, and coming back into the sport that time was a kind of a big moment for me. But coming back in now is even bigger because I'm 10 years over peak. Peak age for gymnasts is around 22, 23. I'm sitting at 32 now, nearly 33. So, there's no doubt that it's a challenge, but it's something I can't wait to take on.
And do you think that really is part of it, which is that, like, simply by being older, not by being in peak, as you say, is what then can allow for you to maybe just throw the expectation away, because you can be like, oh, no one expects that, I'm old now. And then as a result, you can go back to just playing, and then you can not think about the competition, and you can perform out of your skin as a result.
That's the mindset now, yeah.
And are you having to, like, trick yourself to think that? Or is it like that is truly because it's kind of like your own expectation versus the expectation of the world. Like, is it commentators who are going to say, this guy's old, he's probably not going to be any good now, like, and then you go and perform? Or is it that you have heard the commentators say, he won the double Olympic gold, he's going to get, if he doesn't get a win at this competition, he's lost, Is it that expectation from them has told you what to think? Or is it that that's also what you think directly? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. And I think at the moment, I don't feel like it's tricking myself. I feel like it's a genuine feeling, because I was truly done. I was truly, truly retired. And I was, you rewind even 6 months from now, I was adamant, I'm not coming back. Adamant. And all of a sudden, I'm flicked and I'm back. And I think what that's done for me is actually like almost give me this massive reset, massive refresh going in, and I'm almost feeling like nothing to lose. Like I've got this mindset where I can just go in, and I'm loving every minute. I'm loving being back, and I'm just going for it. Like,
and you said it's a risk to go try and control the way that you end your story, let's say. Yeah. But it's also not a risk if you just have to play for a few years and have a great time and don't worry about it. Like it's a huge risk if you have to sacrifice time with family, you have to sacrifice getting out the door and training under this high pressure situation that you're not enjoying, all for the sake of the outcome. But if that's 100%. Not what you're having to go through, then it's no risk at all.
100%. And I think the process is the important part. So if I love every minute of that, and I think it's hard because, of course, I'm going to have to go away a lot, which will be hard. I've got a 6-year-old at home and she misses me when I go away for a day. So I think there's going to be massive challenges there, but I think there's so many positives on the flip side to that. So if you flick that, and I try and flick that all the time in my head, because the positives for my little girl are massive. Me going back to sport, she's mega excited for that reason only. But I think it goes so much bigger than that, because I can now have an opportunity where I can show Willow actually what it's like building towards competitions, like the biggest competitions, and what it takes. I think she's massively into sport. She does so many different sports, and she's massively active. So if I can teach it, not by telling her this is what I've done or this is what can help, but actually by showing her and her observing, that's so valuable. So there's always massive positives to it, and I'm trying to stick on that side, and it's actually coming quite easy at the moment because motivation is flowing in. Like it's all there. I've just got to keep it there. I think that's the tough thing, because it's going to get harder. I'm building up to comps. I've got my first competition as we kind of get into February next year, so it's all going to come around quickly. But as long as I can keep that mindset of, do you know what, I'm back in, staying positive, I'm motivated, I'm trying new stuff, I'm going bigger than I have done before. So I'm pushing boundaries massively. So I don't know what that high will be or what that content feeling will be when I'm done. Will it feel like I get closure after the next Olympic Games? I think we'll have to find out. I think that's what I'm hoping for, but I don't know what that is. And I think I won't know until the time's there.
It sounds like your purpose has gone beyond medals now, like your family, which probably really helped. But what did you do practically for that mindset shift? Was it just like that your priorities changed a bit, that your purpose was redefined?
I think there's a bit of me getting older, so a bit of maturity within that. I think that's just happened naturally and organically. I think the learning curves of what I've experienced and how I've competing young, nothing to lose mindset, to then feeling like I've got massive expectancy on my shoulder, to then I'm done and now I'm back, I've got another opportunity. So I think it's a mix of everything that's almost helped that mindset be now as like, because I'm going in and I'm training with boys that are like, they're working their way up, they're trying to make their name, they're trying to get on the scene, and they're like, if I have a muck up a go, they're like, how are you so chilled? And I'm like, well, it's just part of the process. But I think that comes in time. I think it's very easy when you're younger and you're like really like trying to make a name for yourself and trying to get up there on the ranks. It's hard. It's easy to be too hard on yourself. And I think I'm saying that today, I was too hard on myself and I'm done, to be honest. But I'm trying every day to almost just, it is what it is. I'm more content with that. I'm happy to show what it looks like as well. Because I know that deep down I'm going to do everything I can to be in the best possible shape that I can possibly be in at the right times. Mm-hmm. So I know I'm going to do everything. There's nothing else I can control.
I guess you know what it takes and what you need to do to get an Olympic gold medal.
Yeah.
Are you going to do exactly everything exactly the same again? And I feel like I know the answer because you've taken up high rocks, you're starting running. Like, what's the answer? Are you going to rewind and try and relive the exact same 4-year cycle, or how are you doing things differently?
Well, if you was going to say the answer, what would you have said? My answer is going to be yes or no to that.
Well, I think massively no for everything that we've said, which is that you're a different person. You have so much more life context. You've learned so many lessons. You can't just like throw them out and go back to being a naive young adult again.
Yeah.
So you have to live a new scenario.
Yeah, and I think I can't do it exactly the same. And I think it's interesting because from the Olympic cycle, from my Tokyo Olympics in 2021 to Paris Olympics, which was the latest one in 2024, I tried to do that. And I tried to have that mindset of, done it before, I'd do it the same. And I'm a really kind of, probably too much, but I'm a really routine person. Like I'm really systematic. I perform routines but it doesn't just happen for me inside the gym. It happens outside the gym. Like everything is so like in line with everything, checking everything off and everything. So I tried to just copy the process that I'd done on the previous Olympic cycle, and I ended up not getting the exact result that I wanted. So I think you have to be adaptable, and you have to be able to change. You have to be able to almost take those learnings and see what you can do with them. But almost this time round, even more so, it is impossible for me to do the same as what I done last time round. It just will never work. I think recovery takes twice as long. Learning skills can take longer, everything. So my preparation period is usually 2.5 months. Well, that's going to have to be extended. So there's so many changes that we're going to have to kind of manage. So every single time it's going to be a learning curve. But I'm always one to say that nobody knows the answers to everything. So you can go to the most experienced person in any industry, and yeah, of course, they'll have some amazing tips and amazing things that's worked before, but it doesn't always mean it's going to work the next time. So I think I'm always on the learning curve. No one knows the right way. Me and my coaches, we're just on that kind of learning curve together, and we'll try and figure out along the way. I think that's the best way to do it. So we almost have experience to lean on to what may be best, but it's always a maybe best. But one thing I know is, as I said, I'm going to do my very best to be at peak condition at the right times, and that's all I can control. It really is. But I'm excited for the challenge. It's going to be a mega challenge coming back.
Like, I feel like back when you first won like double gold, you shifted the narrative of the sport a little bit, and you probably won't say that because you're really humble, but you're literally doing it again now, like coming back from retirement. Like you could do the whole thing again and prove to people like that the peak age might now be in your 30s. It's kind of the way that running's going and other sports. Like the older you're getting, the more experience you have, the more you understand. And like you could be peaking. That's really exciting.
Well, I mean, it'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I think there's a load of challenges to overcome within that. But I like the fact that you're pushing boundaries on every kind of level. Like, and I'm not coming in to try and stay at the same level or do similar like kind of level what I've done last cycle. I'm pushing it so hard. And I think that's where I thrive. If I feel like I'm moving forwards, if I feel like I'm pushing it, that's when I thrive. The minute that I'm a bit static and I'm a bit kind of slowing down or anything like that, everything goes to pot, and I struggle with everything. Even day to day mindset, everything. I've got to be moving forward. So for me, I'm mega busy, keeping busy with loads of things outside the gym. So managing that and coming back to training, working out what that looks like, will also add into the learning curve experience. But I think that's where I thrive.
I think like what you spoke of with reference to your routine, being very meticulous with your routine, ticking things off is so, well, personally helpful, because I'm also trying to I've got a bit out of routine. I did a paced a marathon, so I didn't want to run hard the week before that, went on holiday, and I kind of came back a bit out of routine, and I know I thrive off it, and I want to make sure I'm setting myself up for success next year and building my routine in that way. What does things look like for you practically? Okay. Like maybe day to day or during a normal week to have the routine of an Olympic champion? Okay, so when I train to compete, and I think that's a really important thing. I think I don't train just to train's sake, and then you rock up to competition and it's completely different to what you've done, what you've practiced. So when I'm training, I try and in routines, practice routines, I try and emulate what it's going to be like in competition environments as close as possible. An experience of that, or an example, is before the Tokyo Olympics. It was COVID games, so we go back to those times. We knew there was going to be no audience. We knew it was going to be a very different experience within an Olympic venue. So there was times where I did practice competitions. I went live to the team selectors. This was before the team was selected. We put that on. They were watching through a video call, whatever it was. We put the pommel horse. We moved it from our normal place in the gym. So it wasn't just normal routine. It was basically putting it in something different. So it was making sure that it was like replicating that as much as I possibly can in an empty hall, and trying to just replicate as much as I can. So then you get almost comfortable with what's uncomfortable. So I think that's a really important part of it. But then when you knock into consistency and routine, my whole process
exactly stays the same. So the way I walk up to the pommel, the way I chalk up, what I've done in the morning, it starts from the minute I get out of bed. It's probably too much, I think. But I think for me, it's the way my bag's packed, the way I get to gym, the way I, go in, the way I warm up, everything's consistent. The exercises I do, the conditioning exercises I do, the apparatus that I go to before I compete, it's a fully kind of planned out routine that I haven't just done and rocked up and I decide that's the routine I'm doing. It's planned out throughout months and months and months and months, if not years. So my warm up that I go into the gym to do today is the same warm up I've done as long as I can possibly remember.
So there are components of your journey that you're keeping exactly the same, and then you're coupling that with doing a new experience and perspective, which is like keeping the bits the same, which should be the same, and then also learning where it makes sense to adjust.
100%. I think the consistency is mega important, because I think for me and my mindset, what that does is that checks things off along the way. So for me, if I know that I've checked this off, I checked that off, I'm warmed up, I've done everything I can to be in the right position, in my head, I'm ready. So not only physically I'm ready, I'm mentally ready to go and compete. And I think performance-wise under pressure, I think that massively helps me, because there's nothing that I'm thinking or rushing to do. Everything's done in its own time. It's calm and it just flows, because it's almost you knock into muscle memory. But I think then, like you say, what I've had to learn over the many years is how to be able to adapt and then almost get back on track if something doesn't go right. There's an experience that I had, which is a bit of an odd one. It was in 2014 in China at World Championships, and I went to the toilet like I normally do before I start warming up, and the toilets were a little bit different out in China, so there wasn't a normal toilet, it was just a hole in the floor. So I ended up getting my whole trousers covered in wee. Not my wee, the wee that was on the floor. As you can imagine, it's just a hole in the floor, so it's just a mess. Yeah.
I just imagine that you look at the hole in the floor, you don't know what to do, so you just wet yourself.
It wasn't my wee. It was basically because obviously it's wee on the floor, so it was a nightmare. Yeah. But what I let that do to me was completely throw me off. And I went out to the competition and mucked up. I know it's a silly story, like it's silly when I look back at it and I think, how did I let that actually happen and affect all that preparation for that day?
But I also think, how did you let yourself get your trousers covered in wee as well?
But what it done to me was an absolute nightmare. So I'd prepared for so long for this competition, and I got wee on my trousers. And I'm glad you find that funny. And it ruined my whole comp. Yeah. Ruined my whole World Championships. So what it done was actually made me realise, the consistency, the routine is mega important. But being able to quickly adapt and get back to it, whether it is something minor, which seems minor, but was massive for me at that time because I'm so routine and so checked with it. But being able to kind of adapt and get back to that routine is really important. But I think when it comes to, obviously I've spoke about consistency and spoke about obviously my routines and stuff, but now I've also spoke about how this time it has to be different. The differences have to be is how the workload that I'm training, they're the big differences. So I can't train the hours that I used to do 35 hours a week, 6 days a week. Well, now I'm in the gym 4 days a week, 3 to 4 hours at a time. So it's massively reduced. There's lots of things that I've had to kind of change, and recovery has had to rock it up. So it's a real kind of balancing act that, I'll learn over the next few years on how I get that exactly right.
I guess I want to know where running's come into play as well.
Yeah.
So high rocks, and then want to hear about today's 5K with Anya as well.
Yeah, well, I think running was actually introduced kind of really, really back in the day for me, and it was almost integrated into our training when I was probably 14, 15, and all the way through to up to kind of, major competitions. And I think it was introduced, my coach introduced it in to help us build up our general kind of fitness before we start our kind of specific routine work. And I think it helped massively because what it done for us was we only went once a week, quick runs. When I compete, it's about a minute 10, minute 20. So, we need like explosive runs that are going to kind of help that exact type of fitness. So we've done a mile run quickly, and then we get in the gym, we do our rest of our work. And I think that helped us hugely build up to a full routine, because I know we're only competing for just over a minute, but actually that goes from all these different steps, from skills to combinations to half routines to full routines. And it almost sped up that process because our general fitness was a little bit higher from running. I then obviously got into High Rocks beginning of this year. So that's where my running kind of stepped up quite a bit. Obviously there's 8K involved in that. So I got into there, and I almost found a bit of a love for running, because the rate that I progressed, how much easier it felt. Your comfortable running pace was obviously loads quicker very quickly to what it started as. And almost it was like back in those old days where I used to walk into the gym and thrive off of that sense of achievement. I got that massively when I was training and running, and the speed was just getting better and better and better as the weeks went by. So and then building up to this, we set a big target, massive target for me 6 weeks ago. So this was a real kind of 6-week block build up to this sub 25k attempt. Which was hard. It was really, really tough.
You did really so tough. Well. And I think it will be so great for everyone to watch at home, but to see an Olympian.
See me struggling.
No, but just like, it's just like relatable for anyone running at any pace. Like, also 20-minute goal is like a big like milestone, and it kind of shows that it's not easy and you're not superhuman, and everybody's got to put in the training and everyone's got to put in the work.
I think it gives context if you also say where you were 6 weeks before.
Yeah.
Because I think like you've got not only what you said, which is the ability to make progress, which in reality you're not going to be able to make that same level of progress with your gymnastics, because if you could improve by 30% or whatever it's going to be, you're already amazing, so it'd be impossible. You'd have to do a quadruple backflip or something. But then at the same time, the thing you've spoken about is pressure, which there's also no pressure in your running. So you get like the double whammy.
Yeah.
But yeah, where were you 6 weeks ago?
Well, on the call, if you take it back to them, so I had a call with the team and we said about setting a target. I said a sub 25k because I know that's obviously massively respected. I was thinking at the time I'd probably be around 23, 24 minutes for the 5k. I got on the running machine and I done my 5k, first one in quite a while, and it was 29 minutes and 44 seconds. So I was like, oh God, I've got a lot of work to do. So yeah, 6 weeks ago today, exactly today, 29 minutes, 44 seconds. And then to get the time that we done, like I knew the challenge like was going to be really, really tough. But on one hand, I'm like, I'm really, really pleased because I've made up a lot of time there quite quickly. But it was so flipping close.
So for everyone at home and for me who wasn't there, you didn't quite break sub 20, but what time did you run?
We done 20 minutes and 20 seconds. So, do you know what? I'm honestly saying like a minute ago, I was saying like try not to be too hard on yourself, but I was there. I was so frustrated because it was so close. Yeah. But I give it everything. I mean, I was about to say we give everything. I think you was almost like taking it in like it was a walk in the park, but I don't
No, but it's that like high achieving Olympic like mentality. Obviously, like, yeah, if you set yourself a goal, you want to do that, but it's the fastest you've ever ran. It was like a humongous PB. To take 9 minutes off in 6 weeks is insane. So you've got to be proud of that.
I am. I just would have liked it to have been 21 seconds faster. But
and if you're like me, who didn't get to be a part of it, we will be publishing a video on our Runna TV YouTube channel, so stay tuned. And
see me struggling.
Give that a watch, and we'll have to see if you can break that down the line as well.
Oh, 100%. I think, I'm mega pleased. Honestly, I have got so much respect for people that run, and I think you can't really comprehend. I was saying earlier, you can't really comprehend the speed if you don't run, like how hard that is, and you can't comprehend those times. But when you start and you realize like I'm trying to do 4 minutes per kilometer 5 times, like it's so fast. It feels so fast. It feels like I'm sprinting. So
but I think that the only way that you can surely imagine it is that the same in reverse. Like I can't do I can hold onto a bar and do some pull-ups, but I can't swing around. Like if I got up to 180 degree swing, I would like be so scared that. But you can spin around that bar like crazy. So like it's the same. It's the same in reverse.
Yeah.
That like if I started doing some gymnastics and did like a roly-poly, I'd be like, oh, I am unbelievable. Then some people could do like a double flip in the air, you know? So there's just levels to this game. And I think, June, there's levels to running. Anya's levels above you, and there are people levels above Anya. And I think, like, in a way, that's what makes it so exciting.
100%. Yeah. But you honestly, I can't say it enough. But you helped me massively today. Even though I was struggling behind you.
I think we need the episode 2, which is an Anya comes to do some gymnastics with you.
Yeah. Yes, we should do it.
See if we can either get the roly-poly nails and the double backflip.
I was saying, like, you're going to hopefully get to LA and you're going to turn into a runner and you're not going to be able to touch your toes suddenly. Like, you're going to be stiff like the rest of us.
Well, couldn't believe it. Like, I've spoke to, like, obviously yourself today and then a few runners before. Like, stretching is a massive part of gymnastics. Like, before sessions, after every sessions. Like, for me, like, just stretching, like, getting your muscles ready helps you for the next one. But it's like, it's a different world.
It's actually really interesting because, like, the kind of science out there is that you don't need to be super flexible. You need to be strong to avoid injuries, but like stretching isn't necessarily as valuable in the world of running.
Yep.
But anecdotally, I find it wild. And
it's
like,
crazy.
Personally, I used to take like 7 Pilates sessions a week and stretch sessions, and I never got injured. And then stopped doing all of that because, you know, I work at Runna and sit at a desk, and I did start to get injured, but maybe that's because of sitting at a desk and everything else, or getting old. So there's a lot of things, but no, it's really interesting.
Yeah, so I was there, I was like stretching out in the car, and then you're just chilling there, like you've literally just gone for a stroll. My legs are in bits.
You did so well. We got to like 2K to go, and I was like, oh God, this is going to be a long last 2K. Like, do I just like...
No, I'm glad, because we did say before, like, don't slow down. Like, I want you to just keep pushing.
You were like retching at one point. You were on the floor at the end. Like, you cannot say you didn't try.
No, I definitely tried. I tried my hardest, and we was running around, and we had the smell of food that come in, and it was just awful. Like, I was nearly thrown up. So it was the smell of burnt toast that you mentioned. That wasn't a good one to run past.
Have you heard
who's toasting their breakfast in Battersea Park at 7 a.m?
Have you read that thing where, like, I think a sign of a stroke is if you start smelling burnt toast? I think Max thought he was seeing the light. I think he was like, it's the end.
Oh God, I hope you sign risk assessments.
But it was good. So like, thank you massively, because I wouldn't have got that time if you weren't posting me at that speed, and you pushed me hugely. 20
seconds is that like bit where like it's in the locker somewhere, so you actually can't hang up your trainers. Like, you've got to give it another go in a month or so.
But also, based on your rate of progress, you've only got to do about 3 hours, and then you'll have shaved that 20 seconds off, given that it's about a minute a day that it seems to improve on. Anyway, we're going to segue over to Steph for our coaching tip of the week.
The weekly long run is key for building endurance across all race distances. They also teach your body to use fuel efficiently and toughen up your mind for race day. Build up your long run volume gradually week on week. Ramping up too quickly ups your chance of injury, and we're looking for consistency in the long run.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by the Runna app, the #1 rated running coaching service worldwide. If you want to try the app today, use code podcast25 for 2 weeks totally for free. And please do remember to rate, follow, and subscribe to us on your listening platform to help us climb the rankings, and so that we can keep bringing you the most interesting and amazing guests.
Thanks for that, Steph. I'm going to bring us back with a bit of a discussion for you, Max.
Okay.
If you could build the perfect elite athlete, but could only choose 2 traits or conditions to give them, what would you pick to maximize their chances of success? So I'm thinking like mindset, world-class coach, genetic talent, you know, that nature versus nurture.
Never get injured.
Oh, it could be anything.
Yeah, what's your 2 superpowers?
I think the ability to compete. Does that make sense? So the ability to actually perform, right time, right place.
So thrive under pressure.
Thrive under pressure. You can deliver, like someone that can deliver. Because I see the most amazing gymnasts in training that would win every day in training. But you also see gymnasts that then crumble when it comes to comp. So they got to be able to perform. Mm-hmm. I think it has to be something to do with hard work and committed. Like, if you don't put in the time, you don't put it over a long period of time. Like, because I'm quite like a simple mind in terms of thinking if you work hard for a long period of time, you will get good.
Yeah.
Like for me, it feels that simple. Hard work can outdo talent massively. I'm not the most talented gymnast in the world, so you've got to be hard work and committed. Can that group into one?
Yeah.
And be able to perform.
Yeah. No, I think that's so true.
Relentless, hardworking mindset.
Yeah. You've got to. You can't. Anything that's hard to achieve, you're never going to be able to do it or find an easy way. It's literally, there's got to be a lot of hard
Which
work.
I think is quite interesting, because a lot of the other superpowers are like to make it easier, like never getting injured. It makes it easy, or whatever it is, and it's almost like you don't want to pick the easy path because it's almost pushing through the hard path in training gets you ready.
Yeah, and I've never picked the easy path, to be honest. It's almost an interesting point. I think I've always wanted to push it. One thing that I pride myself on is going out there with one of the highest skill levels in terms of on the pommel. So our skills and our routines are kind of graded by scores. So I've always wanted the highest difficulty, because then all I can do and all I need to do is just perform. So yeah, it's almost like high risk, high reward, but hard work over a long period of time is going to get you good. There's no doubt.
Like in any sport, like sport owes you nothing, and it's what you get in, you get out. Like it's
100%.
Not really a luck game.
100%. I think timing plays a part, but if you don't put the work in, it's never ever going to time perfectly for you.
Should we do some this or that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you are at ground zero. You can't do gymnastics in the next Olympics, but you can do as much training as you like. Which sport do you think you have the most chance at succeeding at and getting a medal at in a future Olympics if you had to retrain today?
Olympic sport?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, with your rate of progression at running, should we do that?
Should do that. Oh, God, I don't know if I can compare to these, 3-minute kilometres.
Yeah, for a marathon, that is.
Yeah.
Sub 3-minute kilometres for a marathon.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But it's also ridiculous to think that you can do a backflip. So it's all ridiculous.
I'm just imagining you on like a dressage horse or something.
I was thinking of ping pong.
Oh yeah, I'd like to think I could do that. Not putting the sport down at all, but I know it's going to be hard. Every sport is
but the
hard,
level of hand-eye...
I'm actually okay.
Okay.
I'm actually all right at...
okay. What, you're thinking
tennis.
racket sports?
No, not rackets, but just table tennis. Tennis, I'm awful. Tennis. I know it's a racket sport.
Yeah.
I know, but you can't blanket
you've
all
got
of them.
sailing, cycling, downhill skiing.
And if you used to swim when you were younger...
Yeah, that's true.
You could do the dancing one in the water.
Synchronized swimming with Anya.
That's what I mean.
You could do the diving. A few flips on the way down.
I'd like to think I'd better do diving, yeah. I'd like to think I'd better do some kind of Winter Olympics, some of the kind of snowboarding, half pipes kind of stuff. Pick that up, that'd be cool. That's pretty cool.
You've got to lock in your final answer, what we're going with.
Yeah, I've said about 4 or 5 different ones. Go something cool, I don't even know what it's called. Some Winter Olympics.
Okay. Trick snowboarding.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Freestyle, I think, is probably the word.
Yeah, there we go. I should know this stuff.
Okay. Right. You have 2 choices here. Would you rather tomorrow run a marathon, run 42 kilometres, any pace?
You're asking me now after my 5K.
Or you go to a running track and you can only make progress around the running track via your backflip. You backflip, land, and then backflip, land until you've done 400 metres. So 400 metres travelling via backflipping only.
400 metres of that?
It's a bit like a high rocks where you travel via your burpees.
Yeah.
You travel via your backflips or run a marathon. 1 lap of the track.
Oh, 1 lap.
How far can you go on a backflip?
Maybe a metre at a time.
So 400 backflips.
400. Don't get me wrong, my abs would be in bits the next day, but I feel like that's more possible for me right now where I am today than a marathon.
That would be ridiculous. Would you even have the jump in you after 200?
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard, but I think in my head that feels more like I can imagine doing that.
But is there not a risk that you get 300 backflips in and you just jump in the air and land on your head? Because you don't have enough jump left.
Yeah, but there's also similar risks that I get 3/4 of the way in the marathon.
Very true. Do you think you'd beat Max at 400 metres if he's doing backflips and you're doing roly-polies?
I can't do roly-poly. It's always a problem.
Surely you can do.
Back in the day, even at school, I remember rugby training, you'd warm up by sounds like a weird rugby warm up, but when we're primary school and we'd play rugby and I couldn't do roly-poly. I'm scared of it. I'd always just roll out to the side. Couldn't do it.
Oh, I'd have to teach you one.
But I can do acro yoga and like, but I'm the base. I can't do anything fun and interesting.
You've got to be able to do it.
I can't do it really badly. We can try it in the office, but I can't do it. I really can't do it. I'm always scared I'll break my neck or something.
I'll give you one tip. So the most important tip is if your chin stays on your chest, you'll be good.
Okay.
You'll be absolutely fine. The minute it comes away, then
Okay. Big guy might need a few more tips than that, but we'll try. Okay. Do you want to take us over the last one?
Yeah. So if you could pick one sport for your daughter to start at a young age and to set her on the path to be the best in the world, what sport would you choose?
I'm going to have to pick gymnastics.
Is she
Sorry,
interested?
I can't pick running on that. Huh?
Is she interested in gymnastics?
She loves it. She does loads of stuff. She does gymnastics. She's done tennis. I've just got her into golf. Golf's a great
Your
sport.
little caddy.
You haven't done some freestyle snowboarding?
No, not yet.
You don't want her to be cool?
She's done skiing before. But she does cheerleading. Yeah, she does loads. But she loves gym. But I think gym is one of the best base starting sports. I truly believe that. And I think if you start with gymnastics, you can go anywhere. So I'm not here saying I want her to be a gymnast because there's one part of me that I don't like the thought of that, because I don't want pressure on her from day one, and expectancy from a very young age, just because of what I've managed to achieve. I don't like the thought of that at all. But I think using gymnastics as a real base sport, foundations, learning loads about your body, being able to move, just that movement that you learn through gym is crazy. And that can transfer into anything, like anything at all. So yeah, I'm going to have to go gymnastics. Might come from a bit of a biased place, but I think it's, massively beneficial.
Might be a hard question because it's one for her to decide, not for you, but would you, if you could wave a magic wand, would you wish her to the Olympics? Like, Jen, it's brought so many highs and lows, and you've had to wrap your head around that. And
I would absolutely love her to find her sport, find what she loves, find what she's really good at, whatever that may be. And I'd love to go see where she can get to. If it's Olympic Games, then of course I think it'd be amazing. I feel so fortunate to have picked gymnastics and to taken it to like where I am today. I feel so fortunate for that journey, and I've loved it. And I think sport is just, it's so powerful and so amazing. So I think, if she could ever have the opportunity to go and take sport to that level, whatever sport that may be in, I would love to sit on that side of the fence and just be that support.
Well, I think what shines through there is that she needs to find her love of it, which is the reason why you've succeeded as well.
Most important. I think it's the most important thing, especially when you're young. If you find a love for something, that's what's going to keep you in for the long term. Like I said, and then hard work will kick in when it does, whatever age that kicks in.
And it's easy to do hard work when it's enjoyable.
So much, 10 times easier. 10 times easier. So, find something you love, work hard at it for a long period of time, and you'll get good. There's no doubt.
Our final closing question, which we ask all of our guests, is to design their dream race. So what distance is the event? Where is it? What food and drinks at the finish line? And who would present you with your award?
And obviously we ask everyone how many backflips.
It can be a backflip race. It could be a 5K all out. It can be your 1 mile you used to do back in the day.
Okay, dream race. What? So then it's not just running it?
Typically we ask a running race. We've had a bunch of triathletes who had a few other components.
Okay.
But you can add whatever you like to this imaginary race.
Well, imaginary race. I think the only thing I can think in my head now is taking those 20 seconds off of that 5K I done not long ago.
What, a 4.8 kilometre race would be great.
No, 5K, but flipping. The time starts with a 19 minutes. Something 19 minutes 59, and I'd have been done. Okay, Japan is my favourite country I've ever visited, so we'll go somewhere in Japan, Tokyo, or something like that. A distance, 5K.
Go get another shot.
Yeah, that's where it will happen. Did you say the time?
No. As in this is a race, and then.
But we could get like a Kipchoge formation for you to give you. That would give you 20 seconds.
Okay.
That could be part of it.
Wait, Anya, you're saying you weren't as good a pacer as the whole Kipchoge system?
What
were you doing out there?
I couldn't really wind block because that's not going to be great for YouTube if Max is just behind me.
Well, no one could see it.
Can't see it the whole time. Yeah, any help the better. So yeah, I need to be beating that time. And then food at the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an appetite
When you finish
a competition? What are you craving?
I don't know. I'll tell you really randomly what I am craving. I can't get out of my head since it's like feeling a bit festive. I don't know why. It's nothing to do with it either. Like just hot dogs. I know it's so random, but
Like a Frankfurter,
like a proper like
proper
bratwurst.
sausage.
Like
Mm-hmm. With
I don't know why onions, like the whole lot. I mean, it's probably not going to be good after like 5K.
Okay, so we're having a Tokyo 5K finishing with a British Christmas market hot dog.
Exactly.
And who would present you with your award?
Oh, my little girl
Yeah.
at the finish line, and if I've done it, then yeah, that'd be a proud feeling. There we go. She can give me my hot dog as well.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on the Runna Podcast, and we're so excited to watch your journey to LA.
Thank you very much.
And
Thanks for helping me along the way.
Congrats on an incredible 5K PB this morning.
Thank you. Nearly done it. I appreciate you helping me. It's been a part of that journey on getting to LA, helping with that run, helping with the fitness, building into comps. It's been a big part, so I appreciate your help. Appreciate having me on.